The show. President Trump's top environmental official is calling for the U.S. to pull out of the Paris Climate Change Agreement. EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt is now one of the highest-ranking White House officials to explicitly reject the agreement, which has been endorsed by nearly 200 countries.
Paris is something that we need to really look at closely because it's something we need to exit, in my opinion. It's a bad deal for America. It was an America's second, third, or fourth kind of approach. China and India had no obligations under the agreement until 2030. We front-loaded all of our costs.
Pruitt and President Trump's most senior advisors are reportedly set to gather tomorrow to discuss the future of the Paris deal.
Okay, hold on. I know Pruitt and Steve Bannon are both against this. But this is so stupid.
It's so stupid.
It's so stupid for America to get out of this because, first of all, it's voluntary. Secondly, the biggest problem right now is coming from China and India, not from the United States. And we finally got them at the table. This is China and India's second, third, fourth, fifth. And we're already going through the process of cutting emissions. Why would we get out of a deal that actually pulls other people?
I know why, because Bannon says we should.
It's so stupid and counterintuitive.
But Bannon wants it.
You said it. Well, that I don't know, but China now is positioning itself as the leader, the global leader on the environment after the Obama administration basically put us ahead. One of the flaws, I think, in the Trump administration logic about these collective agreements is that somehow bilateral agreements are better than these collective agreements. I'm telling you, negotiating 28 bilateral agreements around energy policy is a lot harder than coming to the Paris agreements. And by the way, the Paris agreements were really done by John Kerry, who just was there over and over and over. It's something he devoutly believed in, and it showed U.S. leadership on something that Americans actually like.
I think you make an important point, though, about this administration showing favoritism to bilateral agreements that are just, quite frankly, imaginary. You remember how all the talk about ripping up the Iran deal from day one in office? When has that even been mentioned by the administration? I mean, that just really, after they realized, oh, we have all of these European counterparts who aren't necessarily going to follow us.
Yeah, I mean, somebody, Jeremy, needs to explain to somebody in the administration that we actually have to make sure that China and India stay at the table because the United States has already been cutting carbon emissions.
Right.
We're doing a better job. That's one of the sort of hidden stories of the past decade. We have been doing a better job of cutting our carbon emissions. Now we got them at the table to do it, so why do we walk away?
Why do we walk away, and why, when there's tangible evidence that these policies work when they're enforced? I mean, look, when we were growing up, remember all those stories about the filthy smog that was hanging over Los Angeles and how Los Angeles had become this just heavily polluted city? I mean, it still is in a lot of ways, but because of the reduction of carbon emissions and because of more stringent fuel economy requirements that we put on cars, it's improved. I mean, these things work.
Yeah,
isn't the business community overwhelmingly in favor of sticking
with Paris? Yes. Trump is separating from the business community on the Paris Accords.
Well, what Bannon says goes. Let's bring in CNBC's Sarah Eisen
Bannon wants, but
live at the New York Stock